This Raw Vision video is brought to you by Metro Solar, proud partner of the Richmond Football Club. G'day Tiger fans, welcome to the Spotlight on round 10, brought to you by Metro Solar, and I'm joined this week by development coach Max Bailey. Brendan Lade's already boarded the plane and headed off to Perth for the big game against Fremantle, so thanks for joining in, Maxie.
Thanks for having me, Richard.
You must be wrapped with the development of a couple of the younger players you would have worked with, Connor Menadue and Corey Ellis. They're really showing some signs the last few weeks. Yeah,
it's good to see a couple of young guys come in and have an impact straight away. I think you could tell by Corey's goal last week, he's a pretty impressive kid.
Yeah, he's got a real smooth move about him. Hadn't he? A bit of Scott Pendlebury there. I don't want to pump him up too early, but he does move that way, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Scott's one of the guys he watched a lot of, so if he can be anywhere near that sort of player, we'd be pretty happy.
What about this week, mate? A huge challenge, a team that hasn't been beaten, but they do like to travel, the Richmond boys, at the moment. Yeah,
and a good record in Perth. I think over the last 3 or 4 years they've done pretty well, so hopefully that bodes well for us.
Beautiful. Let's have a look at the team and some really good news. Tyrone Vickery, who went down a few weeks ago against Port Adelaide. We thought he might be out for a little bit longer, but he's back, Max, so you must be rapt to have him back in. Really good for balance.
Yeah, we like the three talls up forward, and Liam McBean's been able to do that in the games Ty hasn't played, but Ty's been prepared really well and done everything he could to get up for this week, and it's good to see.
And he's good for the balance. He goes in and gives Ivan a bit of a chop out in the ruck. How much time would he spend in the ruck, do you think?
Probably minimal, given that Ben Griffiths has been doing a great job at that. But again, the flexibility of being able to use all three if we need, especially against Sandilands, is a great thing.
You bring up big Sandilands. I think he had a world record hit-outs last week. He had about 3,000 hit-outs last week. How do you stop this man? As we have a look at their numbers there, Ivan does get more of the footy around the ground. Is that something that you would encourage him to do? And you would have played on Aaron before. How do you stop him?
I don't think there's a way you can stop him. Ivan's going to do everything he can, but a lot of it's got to come down to the midfielders and how they position themselves. So that's going to be pretty important. But if, like I said, if Ivan can get more of the ball around the ground, that'll go some way to counteracting it.
With the hit-out numbers, having played in a ruck yourself a lot over the years, is it about hit-outs to advantage as opposed to those pure numbers? What do you look at?
Yeah, you probably lean towards looking at more of that. As a ruckman, you like to have more numbers in anything you can, but certainly the hit-outs to advantage is something that Aaron does really well. If we can go some way to stopping that, it'll be good.
Well, the other player to have a look at is Nat Fyfe. I mean, this guy is Superman at the moment. How do you stop him? He's the talk of the competition at the moment. And when you look at these numbers here, Maxie, 20 contested possessions a game, that says you can't stop him in my book.
It's quite scary to look at that, and not only him, but you've got David Mundy, Michael Barlow, these bigger, taller midfielders. So I don't know if you can stop him. Maybe you go head-to-head like Adelaide did with Dangerfield last week. If I knew, I'd probably be coaching this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Is that a chance, do you think? Would you roll Trent onto him and try and get those two just going head-to-head? Because I mean, Dangerfield had 37 last week, and some experts like Jason Dunstall actually had him in front. So is that something we might look at?
Possibly. They're going to have a number of contingencies, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start off tagging and then move to a few different things. But it's going to come down to all three midfielders, whoever's in there, can they all take care of him? Yeah,
and when he rolls forward, it would be dangerous if you had, I guess, Koch on him when he goes forward, because the height advantage would be a real problem there.
Yeah, we're not going to look to do that. I think they'll hand over to one of the defenders who have been great at stopping these sort of guys. Yeah,
well, it's going to be tough to stop him, we know that, but he has been a superstar this year. One thing that Adelaide did really well last week, Max, was they actually smashed Freo in the contested ball. I couldn't believe it when I looked at it, plus 37. Is that a sign that maybe they're getting a little bit tired, or is that just something that we have to do this week, win the contested footy?
I think it's just a mindset we need to bring. So their round one game against Port, they also, I think, were quite low in contested ball, and Port went pretty close to beating them. So that's a big area of the game. And the other thing is that Freo are really fast starters. So if we can be level or just within a kick or so at quarter time, that'll show us we can stick with them the rest of the game, as we've been running games out really well.
We have one player that we've been really pleased with here at Tigerland is Brandon Ellis, and I think the stat was brought up during the week that he's had 28 games now in a row with more than 20 possessions. As a coaching group, you must be wrapped with that. You know what you're going to get each week with Brandon at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a guy who really drives his own development, so he's doing extras every day with Brendan Lade, with Andrew McQualter, And to see the rewards he's reaping is a great thing and a great story, I guess, for other young guys.
He's been able to always get the footy throughout his career. As one of the development coaches, what things has he been working at over the last 6 months to get better?
It's funny you talk about contested ball against Freo. That's one thing he needed. He saw that he had to improve on, and Choco's been really big with him on working at that. And I guess you can see his contested numbers over his career have lifted. Yeah,
and you'd be rapping him last week. He was getting back into defensive 50 and really helping out the defence.
Yeah, it's probably he and Ivan are the two guys who really get back there and help out the defenders, and they love it, seeing those guys back there.
Well, it's certainly helped the defensive numbers. I think in the last 3 weeks we've averaged 67 points against, and that's actually blown out a bit because against Collingwood we had over 100, but the last 2 weeks in particular, very hard to score against.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and it helps when you've got an All-Australian in Alex Rance and then a great leader in Troy Chaplin as well. But you've got to give credit to Ben Rutten, the work he's been doing with them. But also the team defence, we've got a big emphasis on our mids pushing back to help out as well.
It's a really settled back six at the moment as well. That really helps as well.
I think so. I think it's really important to have the same guys running through there, getting to know each other, to know their little idiosyncrasies. So it really helps.
Sure. I was really interested in this footage last week, Max. Now, you're a big man. You're nearly 7 foot. This is not acceptable in my book. The big guys at any club delegate to the small guys. This is for the first year players. What's going on?
I would have thought so. It's a long way down for Ivan too, so I don't know what he's doing.
Where does he get that from?
I'm not sure, but he is quite a neat freak and loves structure and rules, so it doesn't surprise you looking at that.
He's been known to send an email around to all staff, hasn't he? If he goes into the kitchen and there's a few glasses not cleaned, he's not happy.
He's not happy at all. You don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
It's great to see, setting a good example around the club. Maxie, thanks for joining us. You're not heading over. We've got the VFL out at Werribee on Saturday.
Saturday at 2 p.m, so hopefully we've had probably the last 2 weeks not so good, but we're looking to improve from that.
Thanks for filling in for Lady. He's missed 2 of the last 3, so we're starting to actually enjoy you, Lady, not being here. But thanks for coming in, Maxie. Huge game. We can't wait for it. It's Friday night footy over at Domain Stadium in Perth against the undefeated Dockers. The Tigers are travelling well. Hopefully we can get the win. Let's see all you Tiger fans there. Thanks for joining us.